Thanks for taking time to listen to this episode of the Real ResQ podcast. Take a minute to go to therealresq.com to check out these and other great deals from our sponsors here at the Real ResQ. This episode of the Real ResQ podcast is brought to you by Breeze Eastern, the world's only dedicated helicopter hoist and winch provider. SR3 Rescue Concepts, because you don't know what you don't know. And RescueSwimmerShop.com, official high-quality apparel featuring the silhouette. Breeze Eastern. They dedicate themselves to our helicopter rescue world. Since the very first helicopter rescue in November of 1945, Breeze Eastern has designed and manufactured superior rescue hoist solutions. While much of the technology and the unique mission requirements have changed over the past 75 years, their commitment to the rescuers, the operators, and those being rescued has not. Contact them today by visiting them at breeze-eastern.com. SR3 Rescue Concepts is a training company that can help your helicopter training. They train daytime, nighttime, aerial firefighting, hoist, longline, fast rope, rappel, and more. They can assist your program with standardization and safety checks or just an FAA annual refresher. With the certified flight instructor pilots and experienced crew, they are ready to help your agency keep up to date with current techniques, rules, regulations, and equipment. Plus, right now, SR3 is offering 10% off anything in their web store with the promo code, all capital letters, Real ResQ, REALRESQ. Plus, they are offering 10% from their partners Petzl and their equipment. All you got to do is send an email to info@sr3rescueconcepts.com. Mention this podcast, the Real ResQ podcast, and they'll take care of the rest. 15 years ago, photographer and Coast Guard rescue swimmer number 526, Chris Razak, created an iconic photograph. This photograph depicted the silhouette of a helicopter rescue swimmer reaching down for an outstretched hand in need against the American flag backdrop. The image went viral and became a symbol worldwide for the rescue community and the people they help. Its wild popularity inspired Chris to launch RescueSwimmerShop.com, a web store offering official high-quality apparel featuring his evocative image, the silhouette. T-shirts, hats, patches, and stickers featuring the silhouette are available at RescueSwimmerShop.com, including the flagship design, So Others May Live. Follow Chris and his story on Instagram with the handle @RescueSwimmerShop. And if you are a rescue swimmer, support rescue swimmers, or just tell people you are one at the bar, this gear is definitely for you. When you get to the website, RescueSwimmerShop.com, enter the promo code, all lowercase, one word, RESCUE, RESCUE, for 10% off your order. Our next guest, coming to us from Germany, currently working with Wiking Helicopters, which he does in a very unique role there. He not only is it search and rescue, it's also harbor pilot transfer. It's moving guys in and off the wind farms offshore. It's amazing. Some of the stories that we talk about here are fantastic, and I've loved it. He goes like way back before he even started flying, and then into the helicopter world that he's at now. Please welcome Mr. Simon Kremser. My name is Jason Quinn. I am United States Coast Guard Rescue Swimmer number 500. These are my rescues and rescues from those of us that put our lives on the line every day so others may live. This is the Real ResQ podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Real ResQ podcast. Today I've got with my first official German, Mr. Simon Kremser. Kremser? Yeah. What's up, Simon? That's okay?
I'm good. Thank you.
All right, good. Sorry, I jacked up your name. It's sorry.
No problem.
All right, good. Well, welcome to the Real ResQ, man. Thank you for being willing to come on and join us and kind of give us a little bit some stories from you guys over in Germany. This is going to be amazing. I'm stoked.
Thank you for your invitation.
Absolutely. So with that, if you don't mind, just kind of introduce yourself a little bit to everybody and a little bit of background about who you are and how you got into search and rescue.
My name is Simon Kremser. I'm at the moment the chief hoist operator of Wiking Helicopters service in northern Germany. So it's a civil company who provides sea pilot service, offshore rescue, wind turbine stuff. And yeah, so my way into search and rescue there, or it's not really search and rescue, the offshore HEMS helicopter, led me over mountain rescue. So I'm originally from the southern part of Germany, so near Munich. And my whole family was always in the volunteer mountain rescue team there. So was never a question for me to join that. So since I can think, I was always up to join that team. And then, at the age of 16, I started my apprenticeship as an aircraft mechanic in the German Air Force, and joined at the same time the Bavarian Mountain Rescue Team, the volunteer rescue team. And had then really in the same month, I started my apprenticeship, and I did my first or the basic air rescue training with the old Huey.
Wow.
And that's where it all started from. Yeah.
Wow. So family history of rescue, and you just fell right into it. Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. Nice. So then in that case, how did you get, I'm going to get to your first case here, but was your first case like while you were a mountain rescue or helicopter rescue?
I had always, I was always very interested in aircrafts, and my father was in the mountain rescue team, and I was, when I could, I joined their air rescue trainings and looked at whatever I could see. So I was always standing out there and freezing and looking at Huey going in and out for the training sorties, even as a kid. And so that was the point where both of their interests matched was air rescue. So I was pretty early thinking and reading and whatever I could about helicopter hoist rescues and stuff. I mean, my where I started technically as an aircraft mechanic was fast jets. So I worked on Tornado fighters, but I run all simultaneously. So I was doing this mountain rescue stuff and working under the weekend on the fast jets.
Wow, nice. And you mentioned military. So you jumped into the military to learn how to be a crew chief there?
No, it was I was a civil contractor at the Air Force. So did my apprenticeship, ran there for 3.5 years. So they normally do you're way too young to be a soldier. So we started there at the age of 16, and only you do then your apprenticeship, and afterwards you can apply as a soldier or not. And we started with 20 guys at the year. Yeah. So every year 20 guys start. And my group was 5 guys, and they all wanted to study to go after the apprenticeship. And I applied as a jet pilot actually.
Nice.
In 2009, but it was really a crazy time, especially for the German military, because it all went down. It really feel like they want to close up the military, even if they were actually still in Afghanistan. So many guys I knew, they applied, they didn't got a good job. So they were just stuff like in IT or so, or the basic infantry soldiers were they searching for. So so the military was no option for me, and I thought, okay, may I have to study as well. And then got back to school, and then it was way too boring for me. And then I met some guys and asked, hey, what do you want to study after? They say, yeah, I want just to have a better chance to get a job as an aircraft mechanic or apprenticeship as an aircraft mechanic. I say, oh, I already have that, and it was fun. So why not? Why don't go back for that? And this time, next to school, I was working in this, I don't know if you know, this hoist training or air rescue training facility in Bad Tölz from the Bavarian Mountain Rescue Team, where they built a helicopter nacelle on a big crane, so it's 50 meters high, and it's like a big hall, and they can drive the helicopter around, and with a real hoist operator in it, and a pilot who drives the crane and is responsible for the technique. And that was built, I don't know, I don't remember the time, but I was basically next to the house of my parents, and they asked me, hey, you have a technical background, you know about helicopter stuff, would you like to do this, just technical parts, or just driving the crane basically? And I did this for a long time. And their concept was always to have this just crane drive, or a technical guy who's driving the crane, playing the pilot, a real hoist operator. So they always used people from the operators just to build up the connection between the mountain rescue teams and the operators.
Yeah.
And a guy who just lets the course. And so we spent a lot of time with the hoist operators, from the actual operators in this nacelle, driving around there for 8 hours doing hoist cycles a lot. And there met some guys from the federal police and said, hey, we're searching for aircraft mechanics, and it would be nice with your background. Are you interested? So I started there working also as a civil contractor for the federal police then. And they used me a lot also because of my background as an air rescue guy, for the hoist trainings of their hoist operators. So because it was handy to have someone who could go on the hook at their airfield just when they need it. And yeah, from there, then I got a little bit fed up with the government agency again, because it's really stiff. And yeah, so and again, in this training facility, I talked to another old military saw hoist operator, which I really like. So it was for me kind of mentor. And we talked about options, and I said, hey, I know some pilots of my old squadron, they're flying at Viking helicopters, and they do this Storm Sea pilot flying, and they're already happy. So I immediately Googled the company, and I said, hey, they're searching for aircraft mechanic and hoist operators. And like 3 weeks later, I signed the contract and started there.
So now you work with the Viking. I love it.
Yep.
That's awesome. Convenient enough, you and I know some of the same people, Kim Gramescu being one of them. Love Kim.
Yeah, she's already she left the company. Now she's flying Curacao.
Yep. She certainly is, and living on the beach.
Yeah.
Come on, Kim. But no, that's pretty awesome. So now, you're a hoist operator. Do you go down on the hook as well in all your training? So you're a rescueman as well on the hook, or just hoist operations or winch operations?
No. So normally our hoist operators, they from time to time they go on the hook, but normally they're the hoist operator. So our rescue men are licensed pararescue men in Germany, and we have also we always go out with emergency doctor. So I go on the hook as often as I can, and because of I'm the chief hoist operator, involved in a lot of training. So I'm often have the opportunity, and I use it if I can, especially on external training. So we also providing external training for companies who want to start with hoisting and stuff. And they usually I go with a colleague for the advanced course, and if I can, I'm very happy to go down on the hook again. And yeah,
that's awesome. Nice, very nice. All right, so now you've been doing this for quite a long time. Do you remember your very first rescue?
Yeah, that was also at 16. So just even if this mountain rescue teams are volunteer teams, it takes you when I started 2 years, if you really are on the courses to be a ready mountain rescue team member. Now I think it's 3 years. So I was pretty at the beginning, so that's just my basic medic training, and so it's just a small course, two weeks course, weekend course. And the first thing was just after lunch, and there's a girl which is lost consciousness after she fall on her head. So it was like that as a first thing. And there was a small cottage where our team was based in this skiing area, so it's in winter, and you had two sides of the mountain, so two ski lines, and for the one you can just jump out of the cottage, just put on your skis and go. And for the side where she was, you have to run up a hill 150 meters and then go on your skis, take the rescue skid and then go. So just after lunch, you run up the hill with your skiing boots and your skis on and your medic pack. And so it was close to vomiting there. And then, but when we arrived there, she was already up again. So it seemed like just when she fell on her head that she passed out for some seconds. And we packed her into the sled and brought her down the hill.
So when you say ski, like literally snow ski, like you're hiking up a mountain that's got snow on it and then you're snow skiing down to save her?
Yeah, it's not the whole mountain. So you go up with the cable car, but there's just this cottage. I think is it in English, where we spend our standby time, and it was a little bit down the hill from top where you have to choose when you can only skiing left or right, or back or front side of the hill of the mountain.
Yeah.
And so if you get a call out for the back side, you had to run up this just 200 meters always to get your skid, your rescue skid, and go down the other side.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it wasn't because at this time I was physically very fit, but it doesn't matter when you're just in the super chilled mode or you're full of food and then you have to run up the hill with all the equipment. It was, I always thought, hey, you're not fit enough because that never feels comfortable. But it never got, it doesn't matter if I run 60 kilometers a week or whatever.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Did she end up being okay?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Was okay.
Man, that's pretty awesome. Like, I haven't talked to anybody really that does a lot of mountain rescue like that, where you're on skiing down, loading the patient up in like a sked, and then next thing you know, you're like skiing down the mountain back and forth to get her down. That's pretty awesome.
In southern Germany, it was the most interesting thing to do as a volunteer, because we have also rescue swimmers, and I joined that before I was 16, because 16 was the minimum age for the mountain rescue team. But it's just big lakes and rivers, and you look people getting sunburned, and once a while they search for a dead body. I mean, at big floodings they have to do a lot. So, but that was not what I wanted to do. And the mountain rescue teams, it was pretty cool, because even as a volunteer, you could do, or you had to do a lot on the patient itself, because most of the other volunteer organizations, you're the first responder and then you wait for the professionals. And then the mountain rescue team is often the case that you have to bring them for 1.5 hours or 2 hours to the professionals. And that was the interesting thing, that you could do as a 3-guy team or so, that you have to bring relatively severe injuries like broken legs. So you did this all by yourself. You put the how to say,
splints.
And put them on the vacuum mattress and put them down, and that's all by yourself. And that was really interesting.
Yeah, I know the feeling. By yourself, you're like, there's a lot of work to be done here by myself. What is this? Oh, that's hilarious. Nice.
Or if you arrive there and you think, oh yeah, he's very injured, you need a helicopter, and you look up and you're already in the clouds and think, oh fuck, I'm the doctor.
We might have to pitch a tent for the night. And oh my goodness. So you mentioned rescue swimmer as well. So with all the lakes and rivers and stuff, what does that entail?
Yeah, I did not much with it. So it was just 15 at this time, and I did just the training there. It was just to bridge the gap for the mountain rescue team. But and it's, and down in so I can't say what they regularly do, but we had this year we had a big flooding in Germany, so pointed out again that it would be it's important to have just hoist qualified rescue swimmers available, because
absolutely,
there's some organizations who have them already. But it pointed out again that they need some of them, and they need them properly equipped as well.
Good idea. I'm just gonna throw that out there. As a rescue swimmer,
It was a funny thing because before I left, just in the year where I left the federal police and moved to Viking, there was a very big flooding as well, and they deployed also this volunteer rescue swimmer groups there.
Yeah.
And they had usually all wetsuits. And then they had this, they deployed them also next to gas stations and whatever. So they found out they had a lot of problems with skin irritations from the fuel and from the shit when they went next to this clearing stations or so.
Yeah.
And they would be nice for next time to have dry suits. So then it was 2013. And the next flooding was now 2021. Wow. And guess what? They all had wetsuits and went down on the fuel again.
I hate it when that happens. We told you the last time. Oh my goodness. That's funny. All right. So now you're in the helicopter world, and what have you guys had for rescues in the helicopter world?
Yeah, I don't know if it's something super special. So we're providing it's more like a industrial plant rescue. So we are not first line SAR in Germany. So there are two companies in Germany who provide for the offshore wind farms the first line or a rescue service for this wind farms. And so there are not that many calls and some point it gets usual. So I'm just thinking about what there's one case definitely where I remember where I had maybe a little bit of overconfidence problem with my pilot. It was an interesting one.
It happens. Go ahead. I'm all ears.
Yeah, it was back when I started, was pretty nice because we used the same helicopter for the sea pilot service as for the rescue service, 76.
Oh, nice.
And the cool thing was we were all very, very proficient in hoisting at storm, because during the sea pilot shifts, so when the wave height is above 2 meters, we serve nearly every ship which is approaching or leaving the German North Sea with their sea pilot. So you had a storm shift, night shift, you had easily 15 hoist cycle to a ship at storm to bring the sea pilots on it. So you're very proficient in it. Same as the pilots. And in this case, at my last shift before that, I had the storm shift, night shift with the same pilot. So we did some cool stuff. I'm pretty happy with it. And then we had this ham shift. And then there was a call from the coordination center say, hey, we have a guy who got a latch on his head. And it's bleeding pretty bad. It doesn't look super bad, but they would like to have him in the hospital within the next hour. And the weather was questionable, but the storm was over. So, and they said the captain asked us if we could hoist him off the ship, and we both looked at us and said, why shouldn't we? The storm is over. It's just 3 meters wave. Yeah. What type of ship is it? Yeah, 70-meter offshore supply vessel. Easy.
Oh, huge, easy, yeah. No problem.
And I checked the weather, and the weather was the biggest question mark for us. But because of the head injury, we said, okay, we will try it. And it was pretty low cloud base at night. So when we descended, we did kind of a radar airborne approach. Like we just descended on the base on the radar to the coordinator contact. Was not an official radar airborne approach at this time. It's still not a legal procedure in Germany.
Okay.
And so, but it was a severe head injury. So the doctor said it would be nice to have. And so we said, okay, we try it and say, okay, he will descend to 400 feet. And if you don't see the ocean, then we go back to base. And just at 400 feet, we could see the ocean and the lights of the ship. It's like, hey, we continue from that. And there were two very bright.
It's a great little safety margin in there, by the way. I really like that. We're going to come down to 400. If we don't see it, we bail, we go home. If we see it, we continue. I like that.
Yeah, but everyone is then on the window.
Your face is glued to the side of the window. Where's that ocean? I want to see that ocean.
And then we had two very bright vessels at the same location. I was okay. First, we approached the first. Of course, it was the wrong ship.
Why wouldn't it be the right ship?
Went to the next ship, and the ship was pretty close to the wind farm. And as the wind was coming, it was not perfect, because if we had emergency and had to fly away, was heading towards the wind farm, which is usually above 700 feet. So we would have to gain speed, turn before the wind farm, and then go away.
Oh, wow.
And so we said, okay, should we ask them to go further away from the wind farm or not? And I would say, it would be nice to have a little bit more fuel spare at this weather. So we tried at this position. And like this normal offshore vessels, you have this very low deck, and then this high bridge, very high bridge building.
Yeah.
And before we went out, we looked at the pictures of the ship and say, okay, we will try it on the very low deck, because usually you have not that much motion there and you have space. But of course, in this case, it was completely packed full and constantly getting water over it. Okay, we will not lower him there. And the patient was waiting just behind the bridge at this very high point. And I said, okay, we try to lower the doctor. And the pilot asked me, can you please lower the doctor first with his pack, and he should just check if he needs medical attention on scene, or if he can just pack him into the rescue seat and get him out of there. So don't lower both rescues. And then we got there, lowered him, was tricky, but okay, and standard hoist procedure. And when we picked him up, we had this very old hoist system still on the 76, this old Waddell hoist, which was later bought by British Eastern. And they were super slow. I think empty speed was 60 centimeters a second. So it's very, very slow.
Oh, yeah. That's like creeping. Come on.
Yeah.
And you got a little guy up in the hoist. I got it. I'm going to winch it.
Yeah, sometimes I wish I could have a helicopter just for training with this hoist, because you had constantly think much forward in front of what happening. Because if you have a pitching and rolling ship, you had always really think, I have to be tight and in position when I get this seventh wave height stop. Then you have to be right on the point. Otherwise, if you already realize that you can't be there at this moment where the ship just stays for some second, you could already spend some cable again to give the guy slack on the pitching ship. So I tried to creep up to these two guys, connected to the hook, and at this moment the ship just rolled away. So I was like 2 or 3 meters offset of the point where they were standing.
Oh,
and an enormous swing. So I was like, we got out of the ship, and then it was with two hands like we got them both into the helicopter. The patient was just happy to get saved, so he just said nothing. The doctor was super stoked, so he went into the helicopter and said in German, "Das war so geil!" So this was super awesome. And it was so loud that the pilot could hear it without intercom, even a 76B, which is a super noisy helicopter. Said, okay, sounds is fine. The next thing we both said simultaneously, why didn't we use the Highline? And it was like our briefing, we didn't thought about it. It was just, hey, easy ship, easy thing, storm is over. And it was so hard work to get
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, successful hoist, no matter how you look at it. That's pretty good. I like that. That's hilarious. That's awesome. Well done, sir, to you and your crew. That's amazing.
That is not a funny, it's not difficult more, but more funny story I remember was so as a background story, there was all paramedics, they had a degree, their degree is known as Rettungsassistent in Germany.
What is it called?
Rettungsassistent.
Oh.
And some years ago they completely changed the way the paramedics get trained in Germany and what they're allowed to do. So back then they were not allowed to give medicine except in emergencies. And they
That seems
changed.
a bit of an oxymoron in case of emergency. Aren't the paramedics going to the emergency? I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah, it was so like in Germany they always send normally an emergency doctor.
Oh,
And he
gotcha.
should
Okay.
then give the medicine. So emergency means he's there, the guy is probably dying, and it takes another 1 hour to get the doctor there. And as far as I know, that was it back then. So they changed this, so they get now a bit more extensive for training, more extensive training, and that they called now Notfallsanitäters. And I'm not 100% in it, but I know that now it's easier for them to give medication.
Nice.
And back then, our existing, so the guys who were working as a paramedic then for 15 years with the old qualification, they had to do some courses and some tests to achieve the next level or get this actual qualification. And some of our paramedics, they are working part-time for us. So the guy we had on this day is normally working as a combat medic for the German Armed Forces. A very proficient and tough and strong and big guy. And we had a call out for a stroke. And I don't remember if it was a construction vessel or a platform, but it was a woman with a stroke. And flew out to the platform. So for me, it was clear it will be pretty boring because we were not hoisting at the scene. Landed there, and then if I can, and I always help the medics if I can, when we have a mission where we can land. So I took my what they gave me to carry, brought it to the place, and it was like a living room on the ship or whatever it was. I don't remember really. And you could see there was this woman sitting, and she looked really weird into the room. And I thought at first, okay, yeah, there's something really wrong with her. So the doctor went there and asked him if I could, after he assessed the patient, what I can help them. And I say, yeah, prepare the stretcher. So I prepared the stretcher together with the medic. We packed her in the stretcher, and it was a pretty tight stairway, which was cool in that case because this paramedic is working in the Navy, and his team is they're super proficient and do this carry a patient inside the ship in this scapegoat type stretcher.
Yeah.
So they have a lot of awesome techniques to get them to narrow spaces. So we brought her up to the platform, loaded her into the helicopter, and I noticed already there that always when the medic was, she always got a second where she panicked then and wanted to stay up, and he was putting carefully the hand on her chest and say, calm down, everything is okay, and give her like a
a little thumbs up. Hey, thumbs up, it's okay.
And it was super weird because always, and the second when he gave her the thumbs up, she panicked completely. She was like, something really wrong with her. And the doctor said nothing. So it was on the flight back. She panicked always. And then he was looking out of the window, and I made the sense of, hey, everything okay with her? And he was like, yeah, it's okay. And so it was a flight of 40 minutes to the hospital, and this thing was repeating for 2 or 3 times. So she wants to stay up. The medic put her down, give her a thumbs up. She panicked completely. And the hospital, delivered her to hospital, got out, and it was, what was the problem with her? So I think she had no medication. What was the thing? And he said, there was no stroke. It was just, it sounded like she was really homesick, really badly homesick, and was getting a little bit psychologically disabled at this time. So what the guys in the ship did, they called their telemedical service, which was somewhere in Scandinavia. And I don't know where the problem was, if they gave the doses, or they advised the doses, or if they misunderstood the doses from the medical service. So they gave their kit a nest for 85 kilo guy, and she was like 54 kilograms. It was very easy at this point.
That's a medication error. That's not good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh no.
And then the next day, the paramedic came to the morning briefing, and he said he laughed his ass off the night afterwards because he read this course to get this upgrade in his paramedic license. And at this day, he read like international affairs, to what to do or what can be difficult with other nationalities. And at this evening, he read that in some Asian countries, I couldn't confirm it on the internet, but it could, summed up, could mean, hey, I want to fuck you. and he said, I don't know, maybe because she was so hard on the medicals, she didn't understand what he was on. So this brick of a guy was leaning over her and was like,
thumbs up. She's like, no, that's not what I want.
Yeah, that was really her reaction. No.
Oh, that is terrible.
Poor woman.
Oh, dang, that's funny. That's funny right there. Oh my gosh, Simon. Man, even a landing case can be hilarious. That's awesome. Man, wow. Well, I will keep going all that you want. So if you've got any more, you're more than welcome to share them. If not, we can move on to like anything you want to pass on to anybody else. So it's up to you.
One thing I also wanted to ask you, so how is this with the wind farms going in the US? I've seen you have the first offshore wind park staying there. Is it government service, or is it because in our country it was like they built it and they thought, okay, we have our first responders on the turbines and on the working team, and if something big happens, we call SAR. And the government saw, and then 1 year later, the government said, hey, that's like a big industrial site, so you have to provide your own rescue until to the hospital. That's when these two civil companies started doing this. And I've seen this now, the same thing in UK as well. So they first started, and I thought, oh, Bristol will cover it. And they said, yeah, we will try our best, but it's not in our contract that we have to provide rescue for the wind turbines. So
I don't know, actually. I don't have a clue. I haven't actually been I haven't been on any of the wind farm stuff that's going on in the States. Actually, my conversation with Kim was very enlightening as far as what you guys are doing up there. So I really have no idea.
Okay.
So sorry, man. I will find out for you, and I'll make a couple phone calls and find out who's doing what out in the States.
Sure. Would be interesting to see, because it's one of the bigger problems we're facing there is that so like normally offshore rescue, you go on a boat and the crew will help you to get someone in the stretcher and you hoist them off the ship. But there you have what the customers also request, and what is really necessary is all this rope access stuff. So they actually asked our paramedics now to become rope access licensed guys, because as soon as you enter the wind turbine, it's the same like onshore. You have to probably to get a guy with a heart attack out of the wing or out of the hub of the turbine, or completely through the turbine up or down to get him to a ship. I mean, there's also this transition piece, which is also you need to have a good or a procedure to hoist someone with an angle of 15 degrees of the wind turbine transition piece, so from the foundation. Yep. So a lot of special stuff, and I would like to know if in Germany that's the oldest the country which started first, which is offshore wind farms and bigger scales. But it always would be interesting to hear how other countries handle it or what they're doing, because sometimes you're just stuck in the way you're thinking. And I always try to reassess this and see if there's something you can improve. Or
for anybody out there that has some information, man, send us an email. Because I personally don't know. I don't deal with that a whole lot. But I like I said, I'll reach out to a few people I know and see what we can find out. Maybe we can get you guys in touch with each other, and who knows, make a new policy. I like that.
Yeah.
So nice. Have you guys ever had any problems with anybody, like having to actually do like a rescue off the wind turbine?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
What usually happens?
It's big big industry. So you have heavy moving parts. So you have everything from a heart attack to heat stroke because of the immersion suit to 2 guys with electrical shock at a time.
Oh wow, yeah.
Or burns, head injuries. So I had there also another mission with a head injury where a guy got a hatch on his head, and first it sounded pretty bad because on the flight out, the coordination center called us 3 times on the flight out if he could not hurry up or speed up to be faster there. And we all were like, well, what's going on there? And
at
the point we arrived at the turbine, and we had the coordinates, the number of the turbine was right, but the turbine was also in hoist position, but there was no one there. And I was like, fuck, if we lower the doctor on the wrong turbine, will we lose at least 15 minutes for the guy if he's on another one? And they were in this area with 3 other turbines in hoist position. So we had to call back then the coordination center if they could call the medical team on the turbine to send someone up to confirm that it's the right turbine. And afterwards, it wasn't that bad with the guy. And the others say, yeah, we were below the hatch. We could hear you hovering above us, but we didn't know if we should step out or not. Really?
Oh my goodness. Come on, boys.
Yeah.
I always find it funny when the coordination center calls you and it's like, hey, go faster. Like, I'm already like at max speed. We didn't go faster. I mean, like, Airwolf it and hit the afterburners. Come on, man.
And in this case, we could do something because normally we cruise with the 139 at 140 knots. And if the fuel allows us, we could fly them with max continuous power and get a little bit time extra. It's not much, it's minutes, but sometimes, I mean, if they say he's really unconscious and he's passing away, then maybe just 5 minutes are making a difference. So.
Oh yeah. 5 minutes. It's 1, maybe 2 hoists, depending on how fast and good you are, the altitude checklist and whatnot. But yeah. Now, are you hoisting them right off the top of the wind turbine itself, or is it like off the boat more often? Like which is a more often winch?
Yeah, more missions are definitely from the boats, because if you have something they have a heart attack or something, so they start feeling something, and then they already try to get off the turbines.
Yeah,
and then you reach them on the boat, or you get them on the boat. So they have the small crew transfer vessels, so CTVs, which are mostly 27 to 30 meter catamarans.
So wow, okay.
Boats. They're pretty fast, but the farms, they're pretty far out, so usually you have to already 2 meters well or so constantly, and then they can be tricky. So especially at night, they're very tricky. So we had a case some weeks ago where they also had to drop then the highline because they got the patient with the doctor on board, and they picked up the medic, and the CTV was driving backwards into the swell with the highline on board. And the moment so pitch black night, no references other than the ship. And at the moment where they got the medic off the ship, highline still on the boat, the captain just gave full throttle, and the pilot said he could just see the boat from going this, from going this, was going like that and out of his sight. And I just told the hoist operator to drop the highline. And
oh my goodness gracious. That's crazy.
That was not so nice.
Wow. Now the catamaran that you guys have to hoist to, that's a standard boat for all the guys to go for transport between each turbine.
It's this type of boat. So in the beginning, when they started, they even used modified fish trawler to do that. But this catamaran type seems to prove the best type of boat for that type of service. So They have then ladders going from the ocean up to the transition piece. So the transition piece is where the foundation ends, so the part which is rammed into the ocean bottom.
Yeah.
Then you have like a reeling and a small crane mostly. And from that on, you can enter the pole of the turbine. And so the CTVs, they drive then full throttle against the foundation, so this transition piece, this foundation, to have a stable contact with the turbine, and then the technicians can climb up the ladder to this transition piece and go in the turbine there.
Wow.
And that's the worst case if someone gets a heart attack or something on this transition piece, and it's not possible anymore to lower him by crane on the ship to bring him away from the turbine so that you can hoist him off the ship. Or most of the turbines, they have also elevator, and if you can't get them up there anymore, then it gets difficult, because then you need to establish a connection between this transition piece and the helicopter, and you can't hover exactly above the reeling. And the bigger the helicopter is, the more difficult is it to get you there. So with a really small helicopter, you could probably hover very close to the reeling and lower the rescuer on the hook so that he can throw a grapple hook or something.
Right.
But for me, when we assessed it, I said it's for me not reliable enough, because it depends so much on the physical performance of the rescuer at this time, because someone can throw 10 meters, another one can throw maybe just 2 meters or so.
Yeah.
So that's something reliable where you say, okay, we can go out and pick up. It doesn't matter with which crew is on duty that day. So what we are doing, they have always a throwing line with them, and so they can put this pilot line on a CTV. And the CTV will back then out from the turbine so that we can lower the high line on the CTV. They can connect the two lines and get the high line on the transition piece.
Wow.
But we also try to, what was my preferred idea, but my boss were a little bit concerned about is to shoot the high line directly with a line launcher out of the helicopter to the transition.
Oh yeah. No, I can see it. One of the things I like to do is connect like 1 or 2 weight bags to the end of my line and just swing it, and then more you swing, and then just drop it right on with your weight bags. But the other thing that I've done as well that might help you guys out a little bit is you take so your rescue guy or your whoever's getting lower down on the hoist hook, you get down to a certain point and they just hold position, so they're either even with or like maybe 5 or 10 feet above, or like 1 or 2 meters above the deck of the actual the platform, and go as close as you can. And then from there, it's like a shouting distance. I'm like, hey, catch this. And then you just throw your line to them on deck. Just don't miss. So
it's the distance is difficult. So we should stay away 5 meters with the rotor tips. I like also it's a minimum distance from for the authorities, which to a thing. So I think it's difficult if you would put a procedure in place where you have to violate this 5 meters. I mean, if you're on a mission and you have to do it, and the crew says, hey, we were fine with it, then it's okay. But if you already present from beginning on that you have to go closer, then it's difficult to do this as a company where you have to push the people to that point. So
which 5 meters, when you think about it, it's not actually that far away. It's only 15 feet, give or take. You're not. I mean, I like to be 20 feet away from every obstacle right in there. So I like to be 5 meters away as it is. So to get in, man.
And it's the thing is also with the swinging. So I think the problem was that it was in the very beginning when they built the first wind farms in the German North Sea sector. There was one case where they had a guy, I think it was a heart attack on this transition piece. And at this time, I think they didn't even have the civil helicopters in place. So this German search and rescue Sea King was responding to that call.
Okay.
And they then tried really they put every line they had together and tried to stay above the turbine housing and to swing the the high line to the transition piece, and then worked it that day, because we tried it several times to do it with a lot of weight backs, but especially above 25 knots of wind, you get one swing and then it slowly gets back into the wind, and then I say, okay, it's not reliable as well. And so this boat solution is until now for us the most reliable thing. Just shooting, we tried also just shooting with a line launcher, and first you tried to shoot I googled line launchers, so I took the first thing. At first I've seen shotguns, so I thought, hey, that's awesome. We get a Mustang 500.
Let's see how that goes in the aircraft. Yeah.
That was good. But no, so we tried a messenger line launcher, and we did 2 shots with it at the airfield at 20 knots, and this pilot line was just everywhere. So it was circling around with like this within 2 meters. So, okay, this is not nice to have under rotor disc.
Yeah.
And so I did a little bit deeper research, and I found that there are some line launchers made for combat divers to, when they dive to a boat, to shoot a ladder or whatever on a ship, and they were quite powerful.
Wow.
And there are 2 types. So we tried this. And this actually works. You can shoot like a 30 millimeter high line, like 20 meters distance.
Wow,
but
that's pretty good.
They have some recoil. So we did also some test flying with it, and I loved that idea. But I've definitely seen this would be a shitload of training.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of gear you have to pack on top on a helicopter. So like this line launcher is then 10 kilograms. You have to check every day the pressure on the launcher, and it's not, I can't remember that we have ever had to do this on a real mission. And then if you outweigh the training you need to get everyone to safe operation of this line launcher. And personally, for aiming, so I would like to have it completely free, like you shoot a rifle out of the helicopter.
Yeah.
But then you have always the danger that someone at some point could hit the rotor disc with it. So then you need some type of restraint system or lafette, which limits the angle of the muzzle. And then you have another thing in your cabin lying around. And
right.
So I'm still not sure if this is 100% solution. I mean, if the thing is, we are private operators, so if the customer asks for it and the customer pays for it, then of course, why not, if it's safe.
Yeah.
But I would like to do it as a personal project. But I can see it if the company says, hey, no.
Yeah, we'll see. Let me know. Send me a video.
Yeah, I have somewhere a picture, because on the first, so we invited the 2 companies to present their line launch, and the first company was some Norwegian company. I don't know. It was summer, so I had just a T-shirt on, and we fired some shots, and it had a really good kick. And I thought, after 2 hours, so it's still burning somehow. And there's blood. So I had a cut just from the.
Oh no! We need to pad the shoulder.
And then it's again, you have to. Every one of your employees, so every hoist operator, has to be able to handle that thing in the proper way without fear to shoot it. So
yeah,
it would be a difficult thing to do.
I volunteer to try. All right, just call it.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah, it was when we tried it on the airfield. It was like, hey, have you seen this thing? Tried it? Oh, I've shot this and this caliber already. So, boom! Oh, that was more than I expected.
Oh gosh, that's hilarious. Man.
Especially the presentation of the second one, because I was with the head of crew training and the representative of the company in a small room. Had the same roof panels like you have in your office in the back. So
yeah.
he was disassembling this whole thing, and it was really like military style. So this is our line launcher. This is how you do the field maintenance. And we thought, yeah, we want just to see how far we can shoot with it, or if we consider it or not. Yeah, but yeah, we just put this out, and you have just to replace this O-ring once in a, I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Put it all together, and there was one part laying on the floor. And I was like, is this missing there somehow? And he was proceeding with the thing, a presentation, and put the pressure cartridge in it and pressurized the chamber. And I thought, there's still this thing, and bam! It was real like in these movies after explosion, they go beep, and the dust was raining from the roof panels. Oh, sorry, that was so embarrassing.
Oh my goodness, that's funny. Yeah, the things that happen at work.
Yeah. Yeah, but it's better than an office job, definitely.
Oh, totally. Yeah. No, way better than an office job, for sure. Man, that's funny. Man, Simon, thanks for sharing all these stories. I'll leave it open to you as far as any advice you want to give to anybody that wants to get all the way to where you're at, whether it's hoisted harbor pilots or down to wind farms, search and rescue in Germany. You know, whatever you want to tell the guys coming up or people that are interested.
Sorry,
I know, right? Way to keep it general. Yeah, I do it on purpose.
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm blank. Yeah, keep trying. But I think it's getting easier to get into it because there's a high demand on hoist operators. So, I see it all the time where we have to try more often to get new guys in, and especially this wind turbine stuff, because then I think all over the world they will realize that it's one of the better devices to bring the technicians on the turbine is the helicopter. And I think to get into it, this is a great operation. I mean, for me it's still a big difference if someone applies with 6,000 hoist cycles on a turbine, or if he has 1,000 cycles on ships or in the mountains, because it's pretty controlled. You always have the same spot. You have always the same height. But I think you're not afraid of helicopters anymore. And
yeah, definitely.
I think this was operation where there's a high demand, and this will definitely grow. And I think that's a good thing to start with at the end.
Yeah. Well, perfect. Yeah. So stand by for wind farm hoisting. Come on, let's go Viking.
Yeah.
Simon, thank you so much for coming on and joining me today. I really appreciate the stories and just the insight about everything that you guys do over there, man. This has been awesome. So thank you.
Thank you for.
Yeah, I will be in touch with you with what I can find out from the States with the whole wind farm thing. And like I said, if anybody out there could give me a little direction as far as what they do, man, get us in touch with each other and we'll start making contacts. It'll be beautiful. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Sweet. All right, brother. I'll catch you later. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are out of here. Go. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Real ResQ podcast. Please take a minute to like, subscribe, and hit that share button. I'm pulling chocks and taking off. But before I go, if anyone out there has a rescue story they would be willing to share, I would be humbled and honored to have you on as a guest. Or if you have any questions about rescue or anything else we talk about here, send an email to jason@therealresq.com. That's Jason at TheRealResQ.com. You can also check us out on our web pages, therealresq.com, our Facebook page, and our Instagram page @TheRealResQ. Again, a special thank you to all of you staying on the watch today. Always remember, when that SAR alarm goes off, those in distress are praying for a miracle. They are going to get you. Until next time, fly safe and swim hard.